Allen, who sent Larry Brown hurtling into the doomsday defense 25 and 30 times a game. Allen, who gave the name to special teams and set them loose on Dallas. It was Allen who fired this rivalry with real passion. George Allen beat the Cowboys for the NFC Championship on New Year's Eve, 1972, his biggest moment in Washington. But the most vivid memory of his wars with Dallas remains Thanksgiving Day, 1974. Rookie Clint Longley, with just 35 seconds to play, heaves a 50-yard bomb to Drew Pearson, and Allen's Redskins are beaten. Most often, these late Cowboy theatrics were directed by Roger Staubach, who dominated the rivalry in the late 70s. Remember 1979 when he beat Washington with 2 touchdowns in the final 2.5 minutes? Last season, Staubach's successor, Danny White, led the Cowboys into RFK Stadium for his first title game with Washington. But the afternoon ended abruptly for White, knocked cold by the fierce rush of Dexter Manley. In the fourth quarter, with the game on the line, there was Manley again, batting a pass to teammate Darrell Grant for the winning touchdown. It was hard to convince Redskin fans that the next game was the Super Bowl. 8 months later, the same 2 teams in the same stadium opened the 1983 season. Early on, the Redskins embarrassed Dallas, taking a 23-3 lead at halftime. But in the third quarter, 2 long White to Tony Hill passes triggered another Cowboy comeback and the victory, 31-30. This afternoon in Texas Stadium, pro football's greatest rivalry is raging once again.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Washington Redskins against the Dallas Cowboys.
And of course, Texas Stadium is sold out. We're coming to you live from Irving, Texas. $300 a ticket they're talking about to get into this contest, one that has everything. Dallas and Washington, both with records of 12-2, the best in pro football at this point. Many say these are the 2 best teams in pro football. The weather has cooperated. Couldn't ask for a better day. 67 degrees, the wind northwest 23 miles an hour. It is sunny and clear, and that's the forecast. The stadium is packed. They've asked, the Cowboys have everybody to wear blue. And it looks like those who anticipated a great meeting are going to get just exactly what they hoped for. They'd like to hang those Redskins. The banners are crammed together throughout the side of the stadium. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall, and indeed, it is a good afternoon. This is one that has everything. There's very little need to say anything else. The NFC Championship at stake, the home field advantage in the playoffs at stake, the pressure at stake, everything is here. And a man who has been through all that, who's won 2 Emmys in a row, and again, congratulations to John Madden, and also on his great success as the coach of the Oakland Raiders. I can't remember a regular season game with this much hype and ballyhoo.
Not a regular season game. You know, this is the type of stuff that you get in championships and Super Bowls, and I've never seen Texas Stadium like this. It's just rocking today with all the excitement. This is really what it's all about.
John, you'd think that both teams would be a little tight, but yesterday, in meeting with them, with both the Cowboys and the Redskins, I thought they were very relaxed.
They were yesterday, but as we talked to them, they said that early in the week there was a certain tightness about it, about things in the air, and they said maybe it was just concentration. And they said around Friday they started to loosen up. We went to the Cowboys practice yesterday. Tom Landry said, we'll have a meeting. We don't even have to practice anymore. We're ready. Then the Redskins, they came into town, and half their team was dressed in some combat fatigues, as we see there. So they were loose, and they say they're ready. But I bet they're a lot tighter right now.
I'll bet they are. Now to the nuts and bolts, and let's get your opinion on what you think, what kind of game it's going to be and what's going to happen.
Well, you know, the Cowboys always play the type of game that their opponents will play. So I think the Redskins are going to set the tempo. Now, if the Redskins come out firing, and if they want to open things up, I think the Cowboys will do the same thing. Conversely, if the Redskins come out and they want to control the ball, run Riggins, run Washington, I think the Cowboys will do that too with Tony Dorsett. So we'll get a lower scoring type game. It all depends on how Joe Gibbs and Joe Theismann want to attack this thing.
They'll have their chance to attack first, as Washington has won the toss and they will receive the kickoff. Mike Nelms back deep in the middle. Otis Wansley is back there with him, along with Reggie Evans. Raphael Septien will kick off for Dallas. Bright and sunny, and the crowd is already standing up. We haven't even started to play yet, and this stadium is rocking. It will be Nelms at the 7-yard line, hitting right straight up the middle. Cowboys down in good shape, and they whack Nelms at the 25 and knock him back to about the 24. Bruce Hutter was the first man down, and he really put some paint on him. Washington Redskins offensive backs and receivers. Theismann, of course, the quarterback. The other familiar names: Riggins, Walker, Monk, Charlie Brown, and Clint Didier will start at tight end. Jacoby, Grimm, Bostic, May, and Stark up front, and they are huge. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. Ball at their own 25. No score. Dallas will start, of course, in their regular 4-man front. They'll stay there most of the day. Theismann. Walker was the motion man. Riggins barrels up the middle for a Redskin first down right off the bat. Anthony Dickerson knocked him down. Redskins on a blast by Riggins get a first. The defense for Dallas: Jones, Dutton, White, and Martin, the 4 up front. The 3 linebackers: Hegman, Brunig, and Dickerson. And the secondary: Walls, Thurman, Dexter, Clinkscale, and Michael Downs. Clinkscale did not play last week against Seattle. Bates had started, but Dexter's back. First down just outside the 35 for Washington. Walker was the motion man. Riggins hit right at the line of scrimmage by Bob Brunig. To welcome those of you who watched the Chicago Bears beat Minnesota 19-13 and end the playoff hopes of the Vikings. We're at Texas Stadium, opening seconds, opening drive. Pat Summerall and John Madden, no score. Joe Theismann has had a great year. Just check those figures. The key one being the touchdowns versus the interception. Theismann now in a passing situation. They give to Riggins, however, and Riggins blasts up the middle. Flag is down. John Dutton tripped him up. Riggins got about 7 yards, but a penalty marker down.
I think old Harvey Martin jumped off sides, but they're going against the Redskins, holding. You know, it's an interesting thing. We were talking about the tempo that the Redskins were going to set, and it does look early here like it's going to be the ball control type thing. Run at him.
When you have a Riggins.
Number 53, offense, still 2nd down.
Holding on Jeff Bostic. Dick Jorgensen, by the way, is the referee. And that moves the Redskins back to just outside their 25-yard line. Make it 2nd and 20.
I still think Harvey Martin was offside.
I think you might be right. Brown and Monk on the same side, and Theismann looking in that direction has Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown will get the first down. Michael Downs on the stop, 21-yard pickup. Charlie Brown looks like he came to take a good part in the contest. Very quick. There they are.
Let's watch him here. Charlie Brown's in the slot. See, he has man-to-man there on Hill. He's going to start off, then Hill goes back into his zone. It was a double coverage, runs by both guys, gets the ball, the first down, and everything.
You can make the first down in a situation like that. You've got some pretty good things going. Redskins at their own 47. Theismann gives to Riggins. From behind is Harvey Martin. He got a yard. Help from Hegman. Clinkscale. Harvey Martin fired down the line and wrapped up Riggins.
You know, I've seen players fired up the day before the game, but I think Harvey Martin yesterday in the Cowboy locker room was more fired up than any player I've ever seen. He said, look, he said, tomorrow I'm going to do it. He got a tough job going against that big Joe Jacoby, who weighs over 300 pounds. Whew.
Riggins is out and Washington is in as the lone setback for the Redskins. Theismann goes on 2nd and 9. Theismann back. Chased by White, now chased by Ed Jones, gets away from him and gets the first down. Theismann gets to the Dallas 35-33. Randy White finally tripped him up, but Theismann scrambled for 17 yards.
You talk about a guy who's ready to play. There's Joe Theismann. You see, he's going to bounce around here. Watch. Here we go on Too Tall Jones here. He's starting. You see what Stark was trying to do is cut him to get him down. Here comes Too Tall. He just misses Theismann there, and Theismann goes for the first down. You have to get someone on the pass rush in Joe Theismann's face, right up the middle. You can't give him that alley.
Riggins is back. Walker goes in motion and now turns around and comes in the other direction. The fake to Riggins. Theismann looking deep. Almost, and there's the flag down. Intended for Charlie Brown, and they're going to get Michael Downs for pass interference.
Michael Downs says he didn't do it, but it looks like he did. Watch this. The ball's in the air there. Now, you can't touch him before the ball gets there, and it looks like he had that left arm on him before the ball got there.
That was very close. Very close to being an outstanding play. Landry looking on. Those of you who watch the 49ers keep their hopes alive as they beat Buffalo 23-10. That's the final. Welcome to Texas Stadium. Buffalo also still mathematically alive in the playoff picture. Summerall and John Madden. This is Riggins straight ahead. He lunges and squirms inside the 5 before he's pushed back. Ed Jones led the Dallas defense. But this Washington team has come out and moved the ball so far, at least, like they intend to really prove once and for all who is the best team. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Texas Stadium. Opening drive by the Redskins, who took the opening kickoff and have moved down inside the Dallas 5. No score as yet, but the Redskins at the door. Joe Gibbs in the glasses and headset back there. Timeout. Washington. Tom Landry on the other side. The Redskins had some confusion about what play they wanted. It's second down and 3, second and goal from the 3 at this point. Redskins with a very impressive open.
A showdown between the Cowboys and the Redskins. Cowboys still talking about that, or still arguing about that pass interference call against Michael Downs. That's not going to have a whole lot of an effect on it.
No, they better start thinking about a goal line defense down here, because this is where John Riggins goes to work. Here's where he lines up as a tailback. You see, he's not the fullback. Otis Wansley's the fullback.
He has 21 touchdowns this year. Riggins. When they get in this formation, only he carries the ball. Forget about the goal line defense. Riggins into the end zone as he took it out to the left side and in. And the Redskins break on top. 22 touchdowns for Riggins now.
I'll tell you, that's what it's all about. It's all about the John Rigginses, the fullbacks, the short yardage, the goal line, doing those types of things, and that's what the Redskins do so well. When they get down there, they're going to give it to this guy, and he's going to get it in. Watch here. He just starts in, holds the defense right there. They have all those white jerseys inside. Boom, he takes it, bounces it to the outside. You know, he's a big fullback, but he still has that speed enough to bounce it outside.
Sometimes you don't realize it. Here is Mark Mosley. And he makes it 7-0 Redskins as they went 75 yards in 7 plays. 4-17. They kept the ball. Here's the interference call.
Well, again, the only thing they could call here is watch Michael Downs' left arm there and see if that gets on Charlie Brown before the ball gets there. That's the only thing that I can see, is the left arm was on him because the right hand was in good position.
That came very near to being an excellent defensive play. Nevertheless, it's 7-0 Washington. On in. Jeff Hayes is the Washington kicker. Back deep for the Cowboys, Timmy Newsom and Ron Fellows. Fellows from the 4. Fellows to the 25, 26, Pete Cronin, who is always down on special teams, made the stop. Let's see the touchdown.
Watch Otis Wansley now. He's the fullback that comes in to block for John Riggins down in the goal line. Watch him take on Michael Downs. He leads, he comes in motion, makes good contact, then turns his body, boom, takes him back to the inside, and that gave John Riggins the outside. Riggins is getting a little of that oxygen stuff.
John didn't shave on the way down, did he?
Well, heck no, man. If you're a hog and a fullback, you don't shave and stuff like that. You don't eat fruit and crackers.
You may eat crackers, but no fruit. That's Dorsett to about the 30. Dexter Manley tripped him up. The Dallas offensive lineup. White to quarterback. Dorsett and Springs the runners. Drew Pearson starting after a couple of weeks off, along with Tony Hill at wide receiver. Up front, Donovan, Scott, Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Cosby. For Dorsett, make it 2nd and 6 with 10 minutes left to play in the first quarter, and Washington leading 7-0. Cosby started up, lined up in the backfield. Now he's flanked to the left, and now he goes in motion. Dorsett the lone setback. White looking for Dorsett. No place to go. Caught from behind. Dave Butts sacks Danny White. The Redskin defense led by that man, number 65, Dave Butts. That's the front four. Liebenstein, Butts, Darrell Grant, and Dexter Manley. Linebacker. Hoffman, Olkowitz, and Milak. Secondary. A couple of new starters in there if you haven't seen the Redskins in a while. Green, Washington, Coffey, Mark Murphy. Those of you who watched Cincinnati defeat Detroit 17-9, welcome to Texas Stadium, where the score is Washington 7, Dallas nothing. Pat Summerall and John Madden. Out of the spread to operate the Cowboys this time, and White retreats and throws quickly. That's Drew Pearson. That's a Dallas first down. Vernon Dean on the coverage.
There's old Mr. Steady, Drew Pearson. Watch, he's the outside guy here. He's going to run it out. 3rd down. Now watch him. He'll get up here. He knows where the first down stake is. See it there? He's right there. He knows he has to get a foot beyond it. He does, both feet in bounds, hands extended. That's the whole package there, not bad.
That's clinical stuff right there.
That is clinical stuff, and that's the stuff that the veteran great receivers like Drew Pearson after 11 years give you.
Enough for 14 yards and enough for a Dallas first down. The Redskins on the scoreboard already. They took the opening kickoff and their offense took it 75 yards. Cosby now lined up to the right. 1st and 10. Straight ahead, Dorsett. Couple of tough ones. Darrell Grant, who along with Butts really anchor that Redskin defense.
And I think that's why the Redskins are #1 in the league against the rush. Those two guys there, 77 Grant, and right next to him 65 Butts. They fill up a huddle pretty good. You know, on a 4-man line, those 2 inside tackles have to be strong. On a 3-man line, it's a nose tackle. You can't give a soft spot in the middle against the running game.
Grant moves in over Rafferty's head at center, and now Cosby goes in motion to the right. And White gives back to Ron Spring. Hit by Dexter Manley just as soon as he got the ball. Pat Donovan was back there trying to block, but Manley, who's been in somewhat of a slump, is out of it now.
Well, he got rid of that mohawk.
No longer Mr. D. Games that started earlier today, and they all have some playoff bearing. New Orleans in overtime beat Philadelphia 20-17. The Saints keep their hopes alive. Chicago defeated Minnesota 19-13 to finish off Minnesota's hopes for the playoffs. And San Francisco 23-10 over Buffalo. Get back to the action at Texas Stadium. It's 3rd and 14. Dallas operating from the spread. Washington showing blitz. Newsom comes back. They stay in the block. It picks up one of the blitzers. Tony Hill broke it in. White threw it out. Incomplete. Anthony Washington, the defender. Just a couple more scores. A lot of things happening around the NFL today. White stays in to punt. Cincinnati beat Detroit 17-9. Detroit's still alive, but they have to win next week when they play Tampa Bay. Seattle 17, the Giants 12. Seattle mathematically still in the playoff picture. Houston upset Cleveland 34-27. That clinches the AFC Central Division Championship for Pittsburgh after they beat the Jets yesterday in the final day at Shea. So Danny White into punt, and it's a good one. Mike Nelms back, retreats to his 20, hit off by Rod Hill, immediately gets away from Rod Hill, stays on his feet, now goes airborne, lands on his head. Doug Cosby and Tom Rafferty, who snapped the ball, came down to stop him finally.
Michael Nelms is another one of those punt returners that isn't going to fair catch. Now watch Rod Hill. Nelms is catching the ball. Here's Hill right there. He has to let him catch it. He goes head-to-head with him. He just didn't wrap his arms. Now watch what happens here. Boom, boom, whap, ooh.
That speaks well for the helmets and for the athletic ability of Mike Nelms. It's 7-0 Washington over Dallas. Tom Landry, ever calm, outwardly at least. His defense on the field, and the Redskins trying to increase their lead. 7-0 they lead. Alvin Garrett, wide left. This is Riggins, straight ahead. Riggins from behind by Harvey Martin, but Riggins carried him for about 4 yards.
You know, that's a new play that the Redskins are running this year. It's that counter play. They used to run to the left. Now watch Riggins. He'll fake to the left. Now he lets his big tackle, Joe Jacoby, see him 66, get out here in front of him. He gets out in front, but Harvey Martin just followed Jacoby right down the line and made the play.
You have to block that guy. We've seen it. Every team running that play just about now. You have to block those people on the offside. Here's Riggins again. He got a couple. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Randy White and Bob Brunig tripped him up.
You see who led that play? It was the tight end, 86, Clint Didier. You know, it used to be the only guys that would pull and trap would be guards. Now we see tackles doing it. You know, we just saw Jacoby doing it. And on that play, the tight end pulled and trapped and led.
We've even seen wide receivers do it.
Butch Johnson.
Right.
So those inside tackles, you have to say, watch out for the guard, watch out for the tackle, watch out for the tight end, watch out for the wide receiver.
Look out, the coach may be coming. Here's Theismann backpedaling. Art Monk got loose down the sideline, and Theismann got a rifle shot to him. Dennis Thurman.
Watch this. On this play, it's a double zone. Now watch Ron Fellows. He's number 27. He's going to hit Monk. He should ride back a little deeper. You see, he pulls up, he stops. Now that leaves the lane between the short guy and the deep guy, Dennis Thurman. Ron Fellows should have ridden back a little more. Let's watch George Stark and Too Tall here. Oh, Stark was trying to cut him low. He's trying to cut him. Too Tall gets by it, but he didn't get there in time.
22 yards and a first down for the Redskins. That was Monk in motion, and Theismann going to work or trying to for more. Hayes going to get more with Clint Didier. Didier loose down the middle, 40 yards, touchdown. Theismann, Didier, no flags.
You know what happened on that play? Bill Bates, who was in there, fell down. One of the Cowboy defenders fell down. Didier went free right up the middle. The big thing about it is the quarterback, Joe Theismann, saw him. Let's see if we can see it here. In the end zone now, it's a fake to Riggins. Hold the line back. You see what it does to 53 Brunig here? He's looking. He says, oh, there's Didier right there, and there's no one covering. Watch that. He's all alone.
Mosley hits the extra point, and the Redskins move out in front very impressively, 14-0. I think I even saw a little smile on Joe Gibbs' face.
That's something to smile about when you're up 14-0.
And you still have 6:08 left first quarter.
Let's watch the touchdown again. Here's Clint Didier right here. He's going to get held up a little on the line of scrimmage. Then he breaks free here. But as he breaks free, watch Dexter Clinkscale right here. He starts to back up. He falls down, and Didier goes right beyond him. Now watch it there. There's Didier is outside. See, he gets held up there. Now he starts to come free. Now watch right here. Clinkscale sees him. He starts to turn. As he does, he falls down, and that's why Didier was wide open.
And give credit, as you did, to Joe Theismann for picking the whole thing up.
A lot of times that'll happen, and the quarterback doesn't find the guy who's wide open.
Clint Didier scores touchdown number 2 for the Redskins. Jeff Hayes kicks off. Fellows lets it trickle out of bounds, and Hayes will retreat 5 yards back to the 30 and kick it off again. This Washington team came ready to play. There's not much doubt about that.
I'll tell you, you're talking about it. Watch Otis Wansley here. He's coming down 39. You don't think they're going after each other? That's Wansley, and 55 is Bruce Huther for the Cowboys. Two of the best special teams players in this game. They're going one-on-one. That's a matchup for you.
If the Redskins win, and if they keep playing like they are right now, they will. Next Saturday, the NFL Today, the Giants will be at RFK Stadium. And if they win that game, they will be the NFC Eastern Division champions. Enjoy the home team, home field advantage. Joe Theismann off to a great start. Coming off a great season.
I know what he's thinking, too. He's remembering the first game of the season, that Monday night game. They were ahead 23-3 and they lost. So they aren't going to get overconfident in this deal.
Jeff Hayes now will kick off from the 30. It's Charles Mann who was next to him, and now they changed places, and Hayes bounces it down to Fellows. Fellows at his 5. Swings to the outside. Flags are down. Fellows gets outside the 30 to about the 32, but there's a penalty marker down. Peter Cronin, number 54. Joe Gibbs said if you watched him in a workout, you'd say, get that guy out of here. He can't play.
Yeah, his nickname's Piggy. You ever had him in training camp? He says you'd cut him.
However, he is always around the ball on special teams. Danny White looking on, wondering, hey, we haven't had enough time, and they're ahead 14-0.
And we just got a 10-yard penalty that backed us up to the 12-yard line.
To the hands, number 40, receiving team, first down.
Number 40, that's Bill Bates. As you can see him right there in the left of the screen. Here he comes. Right there, that's one of blocking from behind above the waist.
He should have heard your philosophy. If you can read their name, don't block them.
Don't block them.
First down, Dallas from their own 12. 5:52 left first quarter, and Washington leading 14-0. Dorsett back deep. Handoff is to Ron Springs. He might have gotten a yard, and that Redskin defense, which is so very good against the run, pops him backwards.
I'll tell you, when you have Dave Butts and Darrell Grant in there, there's not going to be much in the run. Watch Dave Butts here, 65. See, now, Kurt Peterson was coming out. He was trying to get the middle linebacker, and Butts knocked him off and then knocked everything back. Look at all those red jerseys.
Dave Butts is serious about this game. Second down. Springs got a yard. It's 2nd and 9. Redskins showing blitz. Now they retreat. Handoff. Dorsett. Liebenstein came down to make the hit. Nothing doing.
That was a stun against the run. Liebenstein is a left end. Butts worked out, and Liebenstein works in. Now watch Butts come out, and then we'll see Liebenstein stun in behind him right into Dorsett.
But again, something you just pointed out a minute ago, there was the fact that Darrell Grant, in this particular case, gave no ground. He got his stalemate.
I don't think I've ever seen either one of those tackles give any ground on a run.
White from the Dallas spread retreats. And throw. Tony Hill got it. Hill stays on his feet, is now out of bounds. Mark Murphy came over and made the hit. Good throw by White. 18 yards in it. First down, Dallas.
Watch this. Here's Anthony Washington is on Tony Hill, excuse me. Now, it's a zone. You see, Washington bumps him. Hill comes off and just stands right on that sideline. It's that double zone thing again. Anthony Washington is going to bump him. Mark Murphy is coming in behind, and Tony Hill just got in between the two of them.
And stop. And that takes a good receiver to know when to stop and where to stop against a zone like that. First down, Dallas, their own 33. Operating out of the sunshine now. This causes us some problems. Here's Dorsett. Popping up outside the 40 for about 8. Rich Merlot tripped him up.
I'll tell you, that Tony Dorsett can really see and feel openings. Watch this from here. It's going to be in the middle. Rafferty takes a little thing. He comes back. He gets Grant to the outside. You see, it was a little delay thing. And that was the thing that brought Dorsett inside. Not a bad block by Rafferty. He got some movement on Grant. That gave a little soft spot in there.
Which is very unusual. They go now with 2 tight ends, Dupree and Cosby. 2nd and 2. White will throw if he has time, and he doesn't. Dave Butts comes firing in.
I think that's that same stunt, Pat. The end comes inside, and Butts goes outside. Watch him here. Now watch Butts. He's lining up over the guard. See, he starts out to the outside, goes around. Now Peterson, the right guard, can't get back to him. He just stunts right around the tackle and into Danny White. That's not a bad stunt because you have to get around there and turn that corner quickly.
Dave Butts, who has sort of operated in a shadow over the years, although has been a very, very steady player this year. If there's ever anybody who deserves to be in the Pro Bowl, it would be Dave Butts. On the spread. Going deep for Tony Hill. Almost intercepted by Anthony Washington. Incomplete, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
Tony Hill caught one in the first game against Anthony Washington. It was good tight coverage like this. Tony Hill is on the inside. The ball is thrown outside. Washington has perfect position. Look, and the ball's right in his hands. Bobble it once, bobble it twice, hit the knee, out of bounds, punt.
Danny White back in punt formation. Washington leading 14-0. 3:03 left first quarter. Remember, well, the big play in the game last year when they beat the Redskins was when he ran out of punt formation, but not this time. Nelms coming over quickly, feels it at 32, gets away with 1, gets away from 2. Bates and company are there, and they knock Nelms backward. 33-yard punt, 6-yard return. Not one of White's best. The Redskins take it over in pretty good shape at their own 37. Washington 14, Dallas nothing. 2:52 remaining first quarter at Texas Stadium. The Redskins have come out really on the warpath. Look at that.
It's interesting. The Cowboys are playing this first down play without a middle linebacker. They have their 6 defensive backs in.
They get to Riggins. Riggins is hit by Bill Bates. First man to make contact. Randy White was there to help.
You know, we said that they didn't have a middle linebacker. Of course, the middle linebacker is Bill Bates, but he's a defensive back. You know, in the last game, the Redskins threw 21 times on first down against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are trying to mix up their pass defense on first down.
So they have Fellows at one of the corners and Everson Walls on the other side. It's that 4-0 defense. Dickerson goes with the tight end. Now they get to Riggins, and Riggins is hit by Smerrick. And then he squirms out of that grasp. And finally, Clinkscale and Harvey Martin trip him up. But it'll be 3rd and short. The Redskins are tough in situations like that because of number 44.
And you know who's going to get the ball? Joe Gibbs says, you know, if anyone ever wants to play against us in short yardage or goal line, all they have to do is key Riggins and go after him. He said, because I'm not going to do anything else.
Short yardage. Look out for, well, Walmsley comes in motion. Theismann gives to Riggins. Riggins lunged, but didn't get the first down. He'll be about 2 feet short as Ed Jones is on the bottom of that pile. He may not be that much short. He's very near a first down.
You know, Joe Gibbs was saying last night that because of his offensive line, John Riggins, he said he goes for it on 4th down more than he usually does. So last night, he was thinking about going for it on 4th down, and I'll bet you he does here.
Well, he's been successful in situations like this 9 out of 10 times.
That's right, and he says, you know, it's an odds thing, and it's probably not the best thing. He said, but I feel so confident in it that I'm doing it more and more. I knew it was going to be short, and I bet he goes for it.
I don't know, with them leading by 14 already.
No, he's going, I know it. He said last night, you know, when you have a feeling the night before the game, that's when you make your decision. And you have that strong feeling, and he was too strong on it not to do it.
Well, 9 out of 10 is not bad. They only need about a foot.
This is where they'll get right down there and grunt and get low and helmet to helmet, pad to pad, and big John Riggins coming in there behind those hogs. A lot of bodies in there.
Crowd coming alive. Otis Wansley in front of Riggins. Wansley's never carried the ball. It's Riggins always. He doesn't make it, I don't think. And that's just what I was thinking about. This could put the Cowboys back in the game. Bill Bates is the first man to make the contact. Jones says it's ours. He didn't make it.
Joe Theismann's walking off. He knows they didn't make it.
He didn't make it. Bates made the first hit. He doesn't have it. They can measure forever. He doesn't have it.
Bill Bates came firing in there, didn't he? Watch this down here at ground level. They only need a half a yard. Wansley is going to lead. Hand to Riggins in behind him. He starts to watch it. The penetration got there, and they got Riggins' shoulders turned around, and he couldn't get that extra lunge in there. Good short yardage defense. Watch it down here. Low. Everyone low. Too tall. Does a good job. Taking on two guys. There's Bates in there. Right in there. They just play that thing solid. And then, of course, Bob Brunig on top. That's not bad short yardage defense.
First down, Cowboys at the Redskins 48. 1:26 left to play in the first quarter.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
No, it was important.
Doug Cosby shifts inside to the tight end spot, and Springs comes out wide to the left. Dorsett the lone setback. Pearson comes in motion, and White is going to throw on first down. Looking downfield, gets outside. Dorsett with a blocker in front. It's Cosby. Dorsett back inside. Dorsett to the Redskin 29.
I think Danny White was trying to throw deep. Look, he's going downfield. He looks. Out here to his right. See, he turns. He finds Dorsett out here. There's no one on Dorsett. Cosby sees it's to Dorsett. He turns into a blocker, picks off one right there, and Dorsett gets about another 5 or 6 yards. He really wasn't tackled. He just fell down.
19 yards they operate at the Washington 29-yard line. Clock running with 40 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Washington leading 14-0. White for Cosby. Got it. Touchdown. Time hung in there long enough, and Cosby made a great catch. Septien is good. It's 14-7. Jorgensen indicates Septien was successful. Look at the touchdown.
Okay, now Danny White is coming back here, and he's looking out there to his right. Now watch, Butts is going to be right there at his feet. He throws the ball. Cosby gets a step right there and makes a great catch. An outstanding deal. He just extended himself, but he was on a linebacker. The closest guy to him was Mel Kaufman. See him there?
Cosby hasn't been able to practice.
But the amazing thing is Danny White being able to get enough power where he could step, because watch, Dave Butts is going to be right at his feet, and he had to bring his left foot back as he was throwing that, and usually that takes a lot off the ball.
There's Doug Cosby, who made a great catch to get into the end zone.
Okay, Doug Cosby is one of the nicest guys in this league.
Isn't he? That's the Dallas scoring drive. They held the Redskins and Riggins on fourth down. And it didn't take long to get it in. 2 plays, one to Dorsett, one to Cosby. Raphael Septien to kick off. Nelms back deep for the Redskins. Dangerous Mike Nelms. Good kick. Septien chases Nelms to the goal line. Nelms led with his knee and was hit just at the 20-yard line. Leo Simmons was the first man down, along with Jeff Coat.
I'll tell you, they're really going after it on these special teams, aren't they? Watch this contact here. Here's what Nelms sees. Comes in there, boom, 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 right there. Look at all those white jerseys come. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9. Red jerseys, big pile up. Sweat.
Crowd chanting defense. 17 seconds left first quarter. Now they go back to their regular defense on first down, but they look at another deep back in Joe Washington. Heisman gives to Washington on a draw, and he scoots to about the 23. Bob Brunig and Harvey Martin shut it down after about 2 yards.
You know, they're going to go back to that short yardage play, that 4th down at midfield, and say, well, Joe Gibbs shouldn't have done that. It was turned around. But doggone it, you have to do what you believe.
Indeed you do. And if you do it 9 out of 10 times, you ought to do it. It's 14-7 Redskins over Dallas. At Summerall John Madden, Texas Stadium. Go back to the touchdown.
Let's watch the touchdown again. Here's Doug Cosby here. Now, Kaufman, the linebacker, has to cover him man-to-man, but he should get help from Murphy, the safety here. Cosby comes here and runs a corner, beats Murphy and Kaufman. Now, watch it here. Now, see, he comes off the line of scrimmage. See, Kaufman hits him. It's a zone-type thing. He's running with him underneath. Murphy doesn't get over. You see, he's late, so he gets in front of Kaufman and beyond Murphy. The old double coverage zone.
Come back on second down, and Washington gets the call from Heisman and almost gets the first down. Boy, is he quick. Anthony Dickerson tripped him up just short of a first down.
You know, the Redskins are doing more and more of this, where they only use the one back, of course. The one back last year was John Riggins. And now with the success that Joe Washington is having, you can see he has 5.3 yards per carry average. They're inserting him more, you know, on first and second down, running down.
Not only does it give Riggins a rest, it also is something that lets the Redskins, as they get a first down, take advantage of Washington's capabilities as a runner and as a receiver. He is dangerous out of the backfield.
Right, and Joe Gibbs was saying last night that Joe Washington is very good on artificial turf, even though he hates it.
Ernie Stautner in what resembled a violent conversation with Tom Smerrick. That ball went right up the middle of Washington's carry. Ernie is, of course, the defensive line coach, coordinator. Washington is still the lone setback. That was Monk whirling in motion. Outside they go, and it's juggled for a minute. Charlie Brown, I think. Alvin Garrett, after he got the handle on the ball, turned it upfield, and Harvey Martin came over and made the hit.
You know, he got a pretty good block out there from Art Monk. Watch him here. Alvin Garrett's the outside guy. He starts upfield, he's delayed. Now watch Monk come right in here and pick off fellows, and that lets Garrett make a couple moves in there and pick up some yardage.
Martin came over and missed, and then Too Tall Jones came and made the stop. There's Alvin Garrett. They said he was too slow and not big enough, but it turns out he is. Washington hurled backwards by Mike Hegman. And Randy White, it looked like he ran into the wrong end of a spring or something.
He looked like he had something going there. He thought he did. Watch Randy White here, 54. That's a good matchup. He and Russ Grimm in there, and then boom, right there. He just gets turned. It's one of those deals, a wish. You know, I got this leg, you take the other leg. Let's make a wish.
Talking to Randy White yesterday, he was serious about this game. Third and short. Heisman might go to work here. Walmsley in motion. Gives to Riggins. Riggins powers for the first down over the left side. Bob Brunig on the stop. Checking around the league and some other scores and a lot of things happening now. The Rams lead New England 7-0 second quarter. First time New England has ever played in Los Angeles. San Diego 17, Kansas City 7, both of them out of the playoff picture. Baltimore 6, Denver nothing. Denver still with a lot of playoff hopes. The Raiders 17, St. Louis 7. Mathematically, the Cardinals are still alive. The Raiders have it cinched. And they are very good. Joe Washington. Theismann goes to throw. Harvey Martin. Theismann ducks. Theismann takes off, and he's got good yardage. Theismann hit. Ron Fellows being chased by Randy White.
Harvey Martin should know better than that. When you're rushing from the backside, you never jump. It's the quarterback's instinctive thing. When they feel pressure from the backside is to duck. Watch, here comes Harvey. You see Theismann duck. Boom, he's to the outside. Has an opening out here. He's looking for that sideline. Here comes Randy White. Here comes Ron Fellows. He said, I'll take Ron Fellows and the sideline. Notice he didn't want to cut back in there, Randy
Not
White.
really.
That would be
Not really. Second down and 4. 12:23 left in the first half with the Redskins on the move and leading 14-7. Theismann gives to Washington. Close to another Redskin first down. Ed Jones on the bottom of the pile.
Joe Washington, the ball carrier.
Joe Washington from Texas. Went to Oklahoma, of course. Said he was never a Cowboy fan. In spite of the fact that he grew up in Texas, he always liked the Oilers. A third and short situation again, and here comes Washington out. And he is replaced by number 44, John Riggins. Awfully tough to stop him in situations like this.
And, of course, you talk about determination. You get a guy like John Riggins, and he didn't get that fourth down. He's probably guaranteeing this one.
Walmsley comes out in motion. They go left with Riggins, and he's got it. Bob Bruning takes the brunt of the attack by Riggins, along with Angelo King, and he got the first down.
Probably go over and say, why didn't we call that play on fourth down? I like that one. Where he goes in motion, I run to the left side in there behind Russ Grimm and Joe Jacoby. Gonna run that one.
Grimm and Jacoby would combine for about 600 pounds plus, so that would make sense to run to that side. So Washington back in place with Riggins now. Theismann gives to him, and Washington fires up the middle. Randy White finally got him, but the Redskins' offensive line is right now dominating the scene.
I think that's the type of thing that the Redskins can do. They'll take Riggins and they'll pound him at you, and they'll take him out, and then they bring in the quick guy, Joe Washington. Boom, they take off right here. Good block by Bostic right there. That springs Washington. He's right in and out of that line of scrimmage.
He's in there in a hurry.
And out of there in a hurry.
First down, Redskins at the Dallas 34. Clint Didier, the move man that time, and Theismann goes quickly. Alvin Garrett is hit by Everson Walls, but he got about 4 or 5. Charlie Taylor. Boy, he had some great days for the Redskins along.
There's Joe Gibbs. Now, he'll call the play. He has 2 signal callers, Joe Bugle on his right and Don Burrow on his left. You see, Burrow is giving the signals there. Boy, that's a lot of stuff. That's formation, play, blocking, everything.
But they both give signals, and you don't know which one is live.
The only guy who did it that time was Burrow.
Right. Theismann to Washington. Gets away from Harvey Martin and gets another Redskin first down before Bruning manages to trip him up.
That's that counter play. I'll tell you, this has to be something here to see Joe Washington in behind Jacoby. Now watch from the left side of the screen, Joe Jacoby, 66, is going to pull. Washington takes that little jab step, waits for Jacoby, see, and he follows him right in there. He said, I got that big guy in there. Jacoby blots out guys. Look at him around there. Where did I hit? Just give me something in there.
That little counter step just freezes that middle linebacker long enough so a guard can get an angle on him and cut him off. Washington, the fake is to him. Theismann chasing. Theismann is snatched down by Anthony Dickerson. The first sack by Joe Theismann. Harvey Martin put some heat on Joe. He went to his right, and Dickerson snatched him down.
Well, again, you know, the last time Harvey broke free, there was no one else there. This time he's going to come in. Now watch, here comes Bruning up the middle. Harvey from the left side, Dickerson from the right side. He sees Martin to the left. He starts to run. He's flushed out. He's flushed out to Anthony Dickerson. But that was a pretty good rush. They had to rush up the middle, the rush from the right side and the left side.
And a loss of 14 yards. 2nd and 24. Smirek has replaced Dutton. Dickerson goes with the move man, and Theismann throws to his left. Pass complete to Art Monk down inside the 25, about the 24, as Ron Fellows was there with Monk. Good throw from Theismann, got 12 of it back.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is get back, at least get his field goal back, because that sack knocked him out of field goal range. Now the first thing he wants to do is get it back. So he has Art Monk on Ron Fellows here, running out pattern. Good move, held him to the inside, hit him right on the out move, and that picked up about 8 or 10 more yards and put him in good field goal range.
Theismann is 6 for 6. 1 touchdown. Been sacked 1 time in a passing situation again. Washington the lone setback. Theismann going to his right. Scrambles and throws. Complete. Penalty marker is down. The pass was complete to Charlie Brown inside the 10, inside the 15 make it. It would be enough, I think, for a first down, but there's a flag down. Against Washington.
That's one of those things where they block below the waist. The Redskins run what they call the dash. Theismann starts back like it's a drop back, then dashes out to his right. Someone must have come in and blocked down below the waist outside. We'll see. They'll tell us about what it is.
Dick Jorgensen.
Yeah,
Theismann asking. Dick has got all the information in hand.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, chop block, tight end, and tackle on the offense. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, what they do is they invite those guys to the inside. It'll be off here to our right. See Theismann start back. Now he starts to sprint out. Now, that was okay. There was nothing wrong with Stark's block. Now, baloney. You can't blame that on the tackle. They're wrong. Stark just blocked him. He didn't chop block him.
3rd down and 27 now for Theismann. He does the same thing to the other side, and they look at him. And now he runs back to the other way. And now he's chased, and now Theismann is down. Smirek, Randy White, Anthony Dickerson all converge at the quarterback. Theismann lost his hat and 9 yards. Jeff Hayes comes on as Theismann goes out. Here it is.
They're going after each other today. He starts that dash to the left. Harvey Martin plays it well. He's out there, forces him back to the inside. He looks, there's Randy White, Anthony Dickerson, no place to go. I tell you, they had him contained from the outside, then they were coming from the backside.
They were aware that they needed to do that. Hayes to kick. Hangs it high. Bounces back, takes a Cowboy bounce. They down it at their own 33-yard line, and Hayes only got about 15 yards out of that punt. It stayed up there a long time, but it took a very unusual bounce, and the Cowboys take over, trailing Washington 14-7. Over the Cowboys, 7-12 remaining 2nd quarter. At Summerall with John Madden, there's Joe Theismann, who just took 2 sacks. Not only took his team out of field goal range, but a couple of hard hits. Dallas takes over their own 33-yard line. 7-12 left to play. 2 tight ends this time for Dallas. Crosby and Billy Joe Dupree, and Dorsett the deep back. Pitch back to Dorsett. Some room. Dorsett stays on his feet. Knocked out of bounds after a gain of 9. Greg Williams is the man who hit him.
See what they did? They have the strong safety to the inside. So number 55, Mel Kaufman, he has the outside now. You see, and he's working up. He's trying to get to the outside. But we get a good block there by the tackle, Jim Cooper, and that gets Dorsett to the outside. See, the strong safety came up to the inside, so the strong linebacker had the outside.
Not sure what happened to Mark Murphy, but he's out of there. His place has been taken by Greg Williams. Handoff is to Ron Springs, and he will get the Dallas first down at about the 44. Neil Olkowitz on the bottom of the pile. There's Mark Murphy. He looks like he's okay.
Coaches may be upset on that Doug Crosby touchdown pass because Murphy was supposed to be the guy that was out there. They may have said something. You know, when they played the first time, Tom Landry made a statement to the team that he could run faster than Murphy. So Murphy challenged Tom Landry to a race today before the game.
But Landry had to run in his coat and tie and hat.
His hat. When his hat blew off, he lost.
First down, Dallas. Crosby in motion, Dorsett. From White, and he did well to hold on to the ball if he did. Dave Butts one more time along with Darrell Grant.
I bet they were trying to influence either Butts or Grant. You know, the Cowboys do a lot of that influence-type blocking. Let's see if we can see it here. Here's Butts on the left, Grant on the right. Yep, they do. Well, what happened there, it was a trap play. The guard pulled, and Grant beat the center's back block.
And Butts would have none of it either. No influence. He was talking to us about that influence business last night, which I thought was very interesting about how they had planned to play defense today. Second down and 13. 5.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Dallas in motion. It was Ron Springs. White throws outside to Cosby, incomplete. Don't know if they'll take that penalty or not. It could be that they have to take the penalty because it might have happened before the play ever started.
Well, you know, it could be another one of those cut blocks. It's not.
Illegal motion against the Cowboys.
In that event, it'll still be second down. Jerry Brooks.
An illegal shift. Number 20 in the backfield and the men in motion. It's declined. Third down.
So they can decline it, and it is third down.
What happens is when you have a shift, the man who shifts has to be set a second before the next man can go in motion. So they had to shift and no set.
Word on Mark Murphy is that he has a pulled hamstring and may not return. So much for the foot race.
And maybe that's why he wasn't close to Doug Crosby on that touchdown play.
Newsom and Springs, the two setbacks. Butch Johnson is in the game. White under pressure, throws nevertheless. Penalty markers down. Over in the area of Ron Springs, and Butch Johnson is also complaining. Linebacker Monty Coleman really upset about this call. I'm sure it must be against him. And that, of course, would be a Dallas first down with 5:26 left to play in the first half. Dick Jorgensen.
Multiple foul on the defense. Holding on number 51. Decline. Interference. Defense accepted. First down.
Monty Coleman and Greg Williams, I think, were the two culprits. And Dallas, of course, takes the biggest penalty, and they move into Redskin territory.
Of course, the interference is the one that goes right there, and that's, again, where you can't touch the receiver when the ball's in the air.
So Dallas moves into Washington territory, 16 yards on the penalty. Cosby in motion. Outside to Springs. One block, two blocks. Springs gets to the 40. Drew Pearson got a good block. Ken Coffey was the recipient.
I'll tell you, and Darrell Green did what you have to on that play. When you're the size of Darrell Green and you're coming up from the outside against a Ron Springs, you better take him on low. There's Doug Cosby taking on Kaufman, but watch Green come up right here and cut Springs' legs out from under him.
Springs only got 3. Make it 2nd and 7. Dorsett is the deeper one. Crosby stays in there. They give to Dorsett. Dorsett tripped up just at the last second by Neil Olkowitz. Got a hand on him, and Dorsett got down to about the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Richards, Springs, Newsom all come in. Richards with the play. The other two would indicate that they're going to the spread formation. Dorsett goes out. Dupree goes out. Drew Pearson split out wide to the left. Tony Hill comes right, and they do indeed go from the spread formation. Newsom and Springs, however, on the same side. That's a little bit unusual. Springs in motion the other direction. Cosby has it and keeps it for a Cowboy first down. Vernon Dean made the hit. 8 yards in traffic.
I'll tell you, Doug Cosby has really become Danny White's biggest target on the third down situation. Now watch, Ron Springs is the outside guy. The inside guy there is Cosby. He's running a little hook to the outside. Danny White just, boom, just pops it right in there on him.
First down, Cowboys at the Redskin 28. Washington leading by 7. 3:14 left to play. Here's Dorsett taken from behind by Dave Butts. What a day he's having.
I'll tell you, he's all over the field. He's there in the pass rush. He's there against the run. And when you're 6'7" and weigh over 300 pounds and can move like that, I'll tell you, that's something.
That's almost unbelievable. San Diego 17-14 over Kansas City, second quarter. Disappointing years for both of them. Surprising score there. Baltimore 9, Denver nothing. Second quarter. And the Raiders over the Cardinals 24-7. Danny White has just set a club record for passing yards. That completion to Cosby. Dorsett to the 22. Tripped up by Coffey. Looked like he might get more out of that than he did.
You know what I think they did here, Pat? I think we'll see it here. They catch him in one of those stunts here, and they're going to run the delay type draw. And we see Butts is working to the outside. Grant works to the outside. Look at that big opening there in the middle. A block from Richards, and that springs him. You see what happens is both those tackles were working to the outside.
And actually, Dorsett tripped over Richards. Coffey made sure. 2-minute warning being indicated right now. 14-7, Redskins lead. John Madden, Dallas 9th play coming up on this drive. 4 Redskins outnumbered. Third down and 4. Ball at the Redskin 22. Out of the spread. The shotgun. Puts Johnson in motion. Woods Johnson will get the Dallas first down. Darrell Green was the defender. Howard Richards getting the play from Tom Landry.
Let's watch Jim Cooper here. He's blocking against Tony McGee. Cooper gets that arm up there. Maybe a little hold in there.
Tony McGee got away from the hold and just got to Danny White. Cosby now lined up in front of Dorsett. It's 1st and 10. Ball's at the Redskins 17. Clock running 1:16 left to play. White rolls to his right. Cosby had it and let it get away. Incomplete. Never really had it. Kaufman and Oklowitz surrounded him. Billy Joe Dupree down there in the action as well. For somebody was Cosby. They needed another man. Here he comes, Ron Springs. Now with another play, the 30-second clock down to 12 seconds now. As the Cowboys having some trouble getting set in their offensive lineup. And now White wants a timeout. He knew he couldn't get it off. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to play in the first half. 14-7 Redskins. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. Just what we expected. Right here on CBS. And right now, right here on CBS, Washington 14, Dallas 7. But Dallas down inside the Redskin 20 at their 17. 1:10 left to play first half. Dorsett moves. White back to throw under pressure. Gets it out to Dorsett. who tries to shake away from one tackler. It's Darrell Green. Dorsett spun back to the inside and got really nothing out of that. Lost the yard.
I think what they were trying to do is they ran Doug Cosby and they ran Drew Pearson deep in the end zone and then get something short to Dorsett and let him have some running room out there.
And with that completion, that didn't stop the clock because Dorsett stayed in bounds. They do use one of their timeouts, and they're now down to 1. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Texas Stadium, closing seconds of half number 1 with the Redskins leading the Cowboys 14-7. Remember the first game of the year? Cowboys came back and outscored them 28-3 in the second half to win 31-30. Redskins have not forgotten that. 58 seconds left to play in the first half as White operates from the spread. Looking downfield, having time. Tony Hill, almost, but not quite. The Redskins had a lot of defenders in the vicinity. Here comes Raphael Septien. Watch this.
They have good coverage here on Tony Hill. Watch, they have him from the outside and from the inside, and both the defenders converge, and it goes right through Tony Hill.
Raphael Septien then. The ball at the 18. He'll be from 35 yards out, and he's pretty good from in here. Pretty good from anywhere. Glenn Carano is the holder. Tom Rafferty the snapper. Septien is true. From 35 yards out, Septien makes it Washington 14 and Dallas 10. We close out the first half with 49 seconds left to play. Teeing it up to kick off, Mike Nelms will be back deep for the Redskins. Number 21, Dallas Cowboys scoring drive, 13 plays. They went 49 yards. The time elapsed 6 minutes, 23 seconds. Rather unusual second quarter in that each team only had the ball once. Septien's kick sails. Nelms has to let it bounce. It bounces into the end zone. Nelms will down it back there. Redskins will take over at their own 20. A little jab to the back of Bill Bates, who checks him out. Get that guy's number. He might be one of those guys you'd have to fight every day if you started something. The Western Division of the NFC, San Francisco 9-6 now. The Rams still playing 8-6. New Orleans mathematically still alive 8-7. Atlanta out of it at 6-9. Next Sunday on the NFL, and a lot of things and a lot of slots still open for the playoffs. The Rams, New Orleans, that's the big one. Philadelphia, St. Louis, Green Bay, Chicago, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. Detroit, of course, needing now a victory. Here's Theismann back to throw, and this time he has time. And he underthrows Joe Washington. Throws a little bit behind him. Good protection that time for Theismann. He is now 6 out of 7 on the day. That's his first miss.
Of course, you know, in that last drive when the Redskins had the ball, one of their big problems, of course, they had the sack, but the other thing is they had a couple penalties on that drive that really hurt them, and now they have to come back and try and get something going again.
It's Washington 14, Dallas 10. Look at the number of photographers on the sideline. That looks like a sellout. No no-shows at all. Theismann gives to Washington. Cut down by Don Smirek. And it looks like Washington is going to be content to go ahead and run out the first half. And now if I think I were Dallas, I might take a timeout.
You know, you think with the Redskins, they started off, boom, the 7-0, boom, 14-0. They went for it on short yardage. The momentum kind of changed. They had some penalty problems, and now they're thinking, you know, we're still ahead 14-10. We're playing at their stadium. Maybe it's better just to go in at halftime with that score, regroup, and come out and do it the next half.
That is indeed what they're about to do. Theismann goes back to throw. Maybe I was wrong. Here's Harvey Martin. Washington had it, juggled it, lost it. 1 second left on the clock. Here are the possessions in the first half. Washington's, these are. The last 4, 7 plays, a touchdown. 4 plays, touchdown. lost the down. They lost it on downs. They went for the first down, couldn't make it. And a punt that took the unfortunate bounce, if you're a Redskin fan, bounced backwards, and Dallas got the field goal.
And here there's only 1 second to go. It's 4th down, and what the Redskins will do is just take the ball and fall down on it. No need to punt it.
Joe Washington still on his feet. Randy White, Bill Bates, Harrison Walls stripped him up, and so they'll go to the locker room with the Redskins having broken on top, scoring the first 2 times they had the ball and taking a 14-0 lead. Now leading the Dallas Cowboys 14-10. And that's the end of half number 1 from Texas Stadium.
Why can't the Cowboys, with their great speed, Dorsett and Springs, get to the outside on that Redskin defense?
Well, the Redskins play their defensive end so wide, and trying to funnel it back inside of those big tackles, it makes it very tough for the offensive tackle to get out there and hook him so you can run cleanly. Now look at the screen right here. You see the defensive end, Dexter Manley, so wide lined up on the offensive tackle, number 67, Pat Donovan. And see the angle he has to go to try to hook him? He can't do it. He actually ends up blocking to the outside. Now Manley will either make the play himself, Brent, or he'll funnel it back inside to those big ornery defensive tackles.
Now, of course, this is a violent chess game.
Oh,
so beautifully described. Yeah. So coaches, they counter with something offensively. So now what do you do to move the ball against that with the ends out wide?
Well, with the ends out wide, they'll go in and try to attack those tackles, but they can't whip butts in Darryl Grant physically one-on-one consistently. So they'll come in with some finesse blocking, trap blocking, such as this one coming up right now. You'll watch that Pat Donovan will pull to his right. Pat Donovan, number 67, will pull to his right now and go up inside. Now watch him. He's going to go up inside and trap him right there. Pow, right at the point of attack. Now there's a running lane developed there by Rafferty's block and the trap block, and he's right up inside. A nice, clean game.
Dick, you know, as far as I was concerned, the first half turned around completely when Joe Gibbs gambled and failed. I thought it was a horrible call when you're sitting on a 14-point lead at midfield, but I'm not sure, since I never coached, that it should be my opinion. What does Dick Vermeil think about that call by Gibbs?
Well, first off, a coach never tells another coach that he made a horrible call. I don't think I would have done the same thing. If he had made it, we'd have been sitting here saying that was a turning point of the game. Maybe they go on and get 21. I don't think he should have done it. Because you know what happens if you don't make it? You're ahead 14 points, you give that other team a real motivational lift, and they come right back at you.
You know, John Madden pointed out that it was part of the game plan when Gibbs came in to go for it in short yardage. But I think you got to alter your game plan, and the situation dictated turning your defense loose there.
Well, the defense has been doing so well that that's what I would have done.
Now, everybody in America also knows that when you're going to gamble and you call timeout, here comes Big John Riggins.
Oh,
right?
yes. And actually, I just was curious because they ran over to the weaker side of their offensive line and to the strongest side of the Dallas defensive line. But that's the way it goes. And now here you come back with the big play. The corner pattern to Doug Cosby, and he's on a linebacker, 55, Mel Kaufman. That's a physical mismatch. I kind of believe there was a breakdown in coverage mechanics in the secondary.
All right. Now, Dick, here in the second half, Joe Theismann and Joe Gibbs have got to try to regroup. Have you seen anything in that Dallas secondary that you would pick on, that you could go to work on here?
Well, I don't think it's anything original that hasn't been done before. I think Dallas will come out and work on the single coverage. And Dallas, admittedly, tells people that they play more single coverage than anybody else. And see this one-on-one pattern, they'll take advantage of that kind of coverage situation. One-on-one, my receiver against your defender. Dallas is going to have to counter and get the good pass rush.
You still confident the Redskins can hold on?
Yes, I do. I really believe they can, even more so now than before the ballgame.
Dick, I have an interesting graphic concerning the secondary about the Washington Redskins. The team that went to the Super Bowl last year, of course, included Mark Murphy as one of the safeties. And you can see that the four men they had there, White, Dean, Peters, and Murphy, three of them were replaced today by Washington, Green, and Coffey, and now Murphy is out. And my question, of course, to the former cornerback, Irv Cross, is, Irv, I can't believe that the Redskins secondary hasn't given away an awful lot since that Super Bowl experience.
Well, as far as this game is concerned, too, though, Brent, with Mark Murphy out of the lineup, he's a defensive signal caller. He's the guy who keeps that Pearl Harbor crew together. So with him out, they're going to have some difficulty in the second half. I still think the Redskins will win the ball game, but it's going to be tougher.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make my pick. I think Cowboys are coming back, folks. Somebody's got to have that. Here comes Joe Theismann out of the tunnel right now. The Washington Redskins are coming on the field. Let's go back to Pat and John.
So the score at the half is Washington 14, Dallas 10. The Redskins are back, and so are the Cowboys. Should be a very exciting first half. You know, we were talking, John Madden and I, yesterday. There's some coaches who are masters at getting things ready to play. There are others who are better at making adjustments. And I think that's what's going to be required here. And I think we have two, and Joe Gibbs and Tom Landry, who are very capable of doing that.
I think they are. And, of course, that's what they've been talking about in there at halftime. You know, what we do in the first half, what worked, let's keep that. What didn't we do that may work, and let's go to that. And I think that I kind of had the feeling that in the first half there was a lot of sparring going on. And in the second half, we're going to see the real fireworks.
And the fireworks are certainly in store. This is, without doubt, the game of the year for the football season, the NFL season of 1983. Score at the half, Washington 14, the Dallas Cowboys 10. About to go with half number 2 as Washington leads Dallas 14-10. Beginning the second half, Jeff Hayes will kick off for the Redskins. Fellows and Newsom back deep for Dallas. Fellows is the man they'd like to have handle it. Like he will. At his own 4. Trying to get behind the wedge. They had a left return set up, and Fellows tried to get around the corner. Now does. Fellows back out to the 28. Pete Cronin again, the man who made the tackle. Look at the halftime stats. These are two of the leaders.